UFC 319 is this Saturday night, and we have 12 fights headlined by the middleweight title. Dricus du Plessis defending against Khamzat Chimaev. It is going to be a stacked pay-per-view. We lost a couple fights. We added a couple fights. And I'm going to be going through each and every one, starting at the bottom, working my way to the top, giving a quick pick and all my betting thoughts on this card. So leave a comment and let me know who your favorite underdog is on this entire card. And leave a like on the video. Click subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Last night, we had 2 episodes of Wager Wars. We had the undisputed champ going against the interim champ to unify the belts. And we had 2 debutantes, key 3 picks, and sparring with reality. 4 great guests. Definitely go check that out on the live tab of my channel. You can go there now and check it out. And also, if you check out my last video, the full card breakdown, you can get a full, more in-depth breakdown of all the fights. And also, if you go to the beginning, I do have a little bit of a giveaway going. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you listen to that and comment and let me know so you can enter the giveaway. And last but not least, man, if you're looking for a new sports book, if you want to support the podcast, use my code over at Bet105. You can check out all these promotions they have going on. Split decision insurance. They're boosting all your 3-leg and more parlays. And you'll also get a little bonus for signing up with my code, man. Let's get into it. First fight on the card, we got Alibi Adiras taking on Joseph Morales. Ultimate Fighter finale here. The other finale for middleweight did get postponed till Noche, so you'll watch that there. But for this one, I do think the favorite is pretty warranted. I didn't watch Ultimate Fighter, but I went back and watched the fights, and I think he's the more well-rounded guy, better cardio, much better striking, at least from what we've seen. Morales has some power, but overall technique, not as sharp. So I'm going to say Alibi here. I'm going to take him by decision, and we will move on to the next one, man. We got Karina Silva taking on Diona Barbosa. I think Silva should be the favorite. But close. So, honestly, I told you guys I would probably line Silva like minus 130 or something like that. So, the line's too wide for me. I was going to just pass, honestly. But when it bumped back, I thought I had missed the line. Then it started going back up. And now, you can get like plus 180. I got plus 184 over at FanDuel. I think it's more than generous. I think this is pretty close to a 50-50 fight. Barbosa is going to be the bigger girl. I think I can trust her to get on top. And I think they're both pretty solid grapplers. So I'll stick with Silva as a pick. I just think it's closer to 50-50 than that line indicates. So I'll take a shot there on the dog. Moving on, Edson Barbosa taking on Jakar close. I think Barbosa wins, but I'm not going to put my hard-earned money on him. Maybe I'll look at some props, but probably just going to pass this fight, man. I'll take Edson TKO. Or decision, I don't know. It's close. Alexander Hernandez taking on Chase Hooper. I honestly did consider a dog shot just because, I think early he could be a problem. He could win that first round and then maybe he just scrapes out that second. I mean, we've seen Hooper get top timed. We've seen him get clipped. We've seen him get hurt and put out. I think he's came a long way. I just, Alexander Hernandez, he is a flake, but he is dangerous early on. He does have a lot of physical attributes that Chase does not have. So I think Chase wins. I think he wins via submission. I'm going to say second round. I just think maybe, it could be it could be a live underdog here, but I think I'll just pass. We move on, man. Jessica Andrade taking on Lupita Godinez, man. I knew this was a fight I wanted to stay away from. One of the 3 fights, and then the Diego fight got canceled. So 2 that were just ultimate passes for me, including that Barbosa fight. But, now I do kind of wish I would have got those like plus 160 lines on Andrade. I think it would have been a good bet because I do think this is pretty 50-50. I'll stick with my pick of Lupita, but honestly, the closer it's gotten to the fight, the more I'm like, oh, man. And then you see the weigh-ins, I'm like, is Andrade just going to mean mug this girl on the feet? I don't know. I'll stick with my pick of Lupita, but I am not confident. I would not bet that. It would be dog or pass, but now the line's been shot to bits. Gerald Meerschaert versus Macaulay. Look, I think this is a pretty 50-50 fight. Maybe Olazechuk with the Fighting Nerds camp. He is the younger guy. It starts out on the feed, and, Gerald, he's been around for a long time. He's taking some damn. I get all that. So maybe Macau should be the favorite, but I think it should be, like, very close. And, man, Meerschaert's made me, I'm overall very positive betting Meerschaert fights because he's always, counted out. And, I don't know, man. I think the line could be a little bit wide. I know I'm biased. I love Gerald. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I feel like Olazechuk, like, minus 125, minus 130, I get. But, nah, man, I think this line's wide. So I took a shot on some plus 200 Meerschaert, and I still think, look, call me biased. It is what it is. We'll see, but I think he's got a better shot than that. Moving on, Bisoner, Cersakayov taking on Eric Nolan. Look, no hot take here. I think he's going to knock Nolan out. Coming up a weight class, short notice. Obviously short notice for both, and Cersakayov does have to cut weight, but, it's just, I think he's legit. I think he's the goods. Is the line wide? Yeah, it is probably wide. I think Nolan is pretty legit, but, it's a bad matchup, man. He's probably going to steamroll him here. He's being brought in to do the job. So give me Cersakayov, TKO, and we move on. Tim Elliott, Kai Ozawa. I think Ozawa wins. It's just, does he get the KO? Elliott's always been durable. If this was a couple years ago, man, I'd be all over Elliott. I'm not as high on Ozawa as other people, but it's a big difference between Pantoja in 2025 and Tim Elliott. So I love Tim Elliott. I'm a big fan, but I don't even know if he really even cares about winning. I don't know if he even really is showing up too worried about just winning and what happens. It just seems like he says it himself. He just likes to fight. So give me Kai. I'm torn on the knockout or decision. I mean, historically it'd be a decision, but I don't know. He does crack, and he is big, and gonna have some firepower for Tim to absorb at this point of his career. But I'll say TKO, I guess, hesitantly. Gerald Cannonier, MVP. You guys know I'm on the underdog here, man. I took a shot, plus 172. Look, I get it. MVP, he's going to be a lot quicker. Jared is 41, but I think he's got one more left in the tank at least, man. This is a true middleweight, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Plus 172, Cannonier. I think he's well-rounded. He's still got a good gas tank for a 40-year-old, and still got firepower. Would you really be shocked if he hurt MVP, if he took him down, if he put him up against the cage? I think there's multiple paths, so give me the underdog Jared, plus 172. We move on. Carlos Prates, Jeff Neal. I considered a dog shot early, but Jeff Neal, it's just like, at this point, he's got health issues, injuries. He's working part-time. Carlos Prates is a guy, he's getting, all the strength conditioning, the special supplements, the nutritionist, the camp with a great momentum. I think he bounces back. It's probably a, solid bounce back spot. But the way they're going to fight, man, it is going to be a brawl. If this was a couple years ago, I'd be all over Neal. But I think it's Prates, probably Prates TK. Man. Goes the decision, it's going to be a 50-50, man. Neal decision is kind of interesting. I'm going to be looking at some props still. There's some props I'm looking at, but, yeah. Interesting. Lauron Murphy, Aaron Pico. You guys know I'm on the underdog here as well. Look, I get it, man. Pico on paper, I've always been high on the guy. He's obviously comes in with a crazy wrestling credentials, great boxing credentials, good jiu-jitsu. He's got the who's who around him. He's literally training in the garage, the TJ's infamous garage. So he's taking his strength and conditioning very seriously. But I'm just, I'm going to go with my tried commodity. 16-0, I get he's not always the most entertaining. I get, we have seen him get taken down, but I haven't seen Pico go in there and just wrestle. Not a lot, he'll mix it in, but is he really just going to go in there and wrestle for 2 rounds? I think he's going to go in there and want to please the crowd. And on the feet, I think it's anyone's fight. I think Lauron is more tried and true, tested, and I just think, man, this could be a... This could be a tough debut for Pico, so I'm going to take the shot on Murphy. Got him at plus 165. Sticking with my pick. I know everybody's against me. It feels like I'm on an absolute island. We'll see. Main event, DDP, Dricus du Plessis, Hamza Chimaev. And speaking of being on islands, man, I'm finishing up this main card with some big hitters. Because you guys know, man, I'm on the underdog here. And look, I'm going to be sweating bullets. I'm considering, honestly, still, I've been looking over on Bet Rivers. You can get Hamza Chimaev sub round 1. Plus 425. Interesting for sure, because I think that's a lot of his win equity. He does have power. He could get a knockout, and maybe he tries to come in with a different game plan, but I think he probably does get some early takedowns. He probably does get to some scary places. I just think DDP is going to weather the storm, take him into the 3rd round, take him into the 4th round, and I'm going to say DDP gets him out of there in the 4th round, TKO, and still, and I thought about just waiting until the live line because I think he is going to get taken down. I think that line is going to be plus 400 2 minutes into the fight. But I took a little plus 210. I'm not going to not and still on the champ. You're giving me plus 210. I'll take it. I get it. Hamzat, he is one of the, pound for pound best right now. I'll agree with that. I'm not trying to say he's not good. He's very good, especially early. I'm going to say DDP is still that guy, and he's going to get it done. Maybe it's not a best matchup on paper. I think DDP at this point has only learned and grown and gotten so much better and rounded out his game, and the cardio now is so much better than it used to look. Yeah, he gets to some bad spots. He gets taken down, but I think he pulls it off, man. DDP and still plus 210. I will be taking a look at that live line to get an even better number. I thought about just doing that, but I didn't want to puss out. I'm picking DDP, even though I know I could sit back and get a better number. I want what's it called? A track bet on DDP. So maybe that's my OCD, but I'm forcing it. Like the video, click subscribe, turn those post notifications on. Those are my bets. Those are my picks. Enjoy. See you later. Peace. Contender Series Tuesday. Don't forget Sunday. Peace.